How do I sustainably lose fat and keep it off? That is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Would mean good, right? That's right, girl.
No, why, Hazel? We can have those Nando's burgers.
She loves chicken and rice.
Love it.
I'd like to preface, if you are wanting to change your diet, do anything drastic, make any changes whatsoever, definitely consult a healthcare professional. This is obviously just for entertainment purposes. It is not an educational video. But anyway, so unfortunately studies show the majority of the population who go on a fat loss or a weight loss journey tend to put all of the weight back on and sometimes more. Now, I went into a bit more detail about calorie deficits and macros and all of that stuff in a previous video, which I will link above me on the screen. I definitely recommend watching that before you watch this video. I'm not currently in a deficit. This is just kind of like a live demonstration and like tips that I'm gonna give you to help you in your fat loss journey so you don't make the mistakes that I have definitely made in the past. So yes, definitely go and watch that other video if you want like the science behind how we lose fat. This is more just like how you implement those techniques in your day-to-day lives. So I'm gonna show you the journey and it's gonna start yesterday in the morning back at the gym. Let's go. Okay, so first things first, we are training and today we're going to the regular gym, which is like your weights gym, and we're doing an upper body session. The biggest misconception is that training and going to the gym is the best thing for fat loss, and it's not. But we'll talk about that more later because I need to get to the gym. Today is upper body day and we're focusing on hypertrophy. So my last 2 reps, I should really be struggling but not compromising my form. Once I get at least 10 to 15 reps on each side, depending on the exercise, then I'm gonna increase my weights and continue doing that to build muscle. This is really the secret sauce of muscle building. We aren't focusing on calories burnt. We are taking our breaks so we can recover to be able to lift heavy. And at the end of the day, we are increasing our BMR, which is our total calories burnt in a day at rest, because we are increasing our muscle mass. In simpler terms, the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you will burn in a day. Training heavy and taking breaks is not going to make you look bulky. Increasing your muscle mass and having a low percentage of body fat is what is going to give you that quote-unquote toned look. Okay, so as for my first point, if you're eating whatever you want and using training as your only way to lose fat or to sustainably keep fat off, it's not going to work, because the amount of calories that you would burn in a session is nothing compared to having a poor diet, if that makes sense. So, I mean, you'd be running and training very, very, very hard to be able to continuously keep yourself at a calorie deficit if you are constantly eating shit. And this is unrelated, but whenever I do a workout, I don't feel like eating junk food. I feel like having something that's gonna fuel my body. So, yeah. Okay, so we've talked about training and how we can utilize that for fat loss. Now let's talk about food. So I'm just making a breakfast for myself now. I'm gonna have a bagel, because we bought these the other day, some cottage cheese and egg, and maybe some relish just to spice it up a little bit. I'm not currently in a calorie deficit, which is what you need to be in if you want to lose weight or fat. I'm at my maintenance calories, and that is around 2,400 calories for me. But if you'd like to check out your own calorie deficit, definitely check out the video. I'll link it on the screen. It's a really easy way to calculate it yourself. Hopefully you've watched that video and you know that the main thing to nutrition and to fat loss is eating volume and eating enough protein. So they are the 2 things that are really gonna help you with long-term fat loss. This isn't like the most high volume breakfast that I could have. If I had veggies, I need to go shopping and I'm gonna take you guys with me as well. But if I had veggies, I'd really bulk this meal out, because veggies is something that you can eat a high volume of for a lower amount of calories. But I am making it high protein. So instead of like butter or avocado, I'm gonna use cottage cheese, and that will just bring the protein amount for the breakfast up and make me fuller. But it still has carbs from the bagel. So when I say like I eat 2,400 calories, because I'm in maintenance and because I've done this for so long, I'm not tracking every day meticulously. I'm not being like, yep, 2,400 calories every single day. That's probably like the average. So sometimes I'll eat a little bit less, sometimes I'll eat a little bit more, but we're staying around that target for the whole week. And that is really what makes it sustainable, because for me, tracking every single day for the rest of my life, when I have events on, when some days I'm not as hungry or some days I'm way more hungry, it just doesn't make sense. But I do think tracking is a really important tool to help you in your calorie deficit, or if you haven't tracked in a while, to figure out like what you're eating, because sometimes you forget. Like even with me, I have to track every now and again. But yeah, once you have practice, you can eyeball it. It helps you find out what macronutrients are, helps you make like more balanced meals. So I find tracking is a really good tool when you're learning at first. And another thing is making sure you're eating foods that you like, because if you're eating really clean foods all the time, unless you love clean foods, then you're not gonna really enjoy life. For me, food's a big part of my life. I love food, I love trying new food, I love having yummy food. However, I try and focus on an 80-20% approach to nutrition. So that's 80% good foods and then 20% fun food. I'm not gonna say no to things that I want, because when you say no to things that you want, it just makes you want them more. And that's when issues can start to arise as well. So I definitely make sure I include foods that I love to make it fun, delicious, sustainable, and enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, why would you do it to yourself? You know what I mean? Okay guys, so I'm gonna take you into the grocery store with me, and I'm just gonna show you how I like set up myself for success with the groceries that I buy that help me stick to my goals without being too restrictive. So I'm also gonna point out just some like maybe mistakes that you might come across when you're in a grocery store trying to choose healthy foods. Maybe you haven't read the back of the label, but I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when we go into Woolworths. Or Coles, not sure. One of the two. Let's do it. Okay guys, so we're in the fruit and vegetable aisle. And so this is like where you're gonna get most of your volume from. And also like fiber and micronutrients and stuff. Everyone's looking at me because I'm filming. So I've just got some of ours for the week. We already have like lots of frozen veg and fruit at home, which is also like a perfect alternative, especially considering how fucking expensive everything is. That is the first thing that you want to make sure to fill up on, especially veggies. Fruit, like, it's a good energy source and like a good way to get some micronutrients in. So definitely include it in your day, but veggies for sure. So we're in the bread aisle. Like I was saying before, like you don't have to cut anything out. I feel like a lot of people think bread, pastas, like all of that stuff you can't have in a calorie deficit. I'm very limited in choices because this is what's happening with the bread. If I was in a calorie deficit and not on maintenance, I would be having this country split in the whole meal. So the key to grocery shopping is eating beforehand. So I had like a high protein shake before I came. And that's another thing that is good when you're sustaining fat loss or going through fat loss, is like using protein supplements to help you get that extra bump of protein in. But you don't have to use it, but it can be helpful. Just a side note, I'm looking for matcha. Can't find it anywhere. I've now started to be a fan of it, and I would like to know where I can get some good matcha powder. That's what it is. Let me know in the comments if you know anywhere that's good. Okay, so some protein supplements are good. I personally love my protein. Their supplements are great, but you do need to be careful when you're shopping for them. I'm in the health aisle at Woolworths, and I'm just going to grab something. So for example, this Bounce high protein cookie would mean good, right? But in this case, this is like so tiny and it's 241 calories. So you could literally make a whole meal out of that and get a similar protein amount. I need to leave because too many people are watching me. I am 100% getting this. I also got these cheese and onion chips, little snack packs. They're calling my name. So they're also in the trolley. But yeah, that's like super important when you are dieting, or not even when you're dieting, just living your general daily life, sustaining your fat loss goals, that you don't like completely cut out all of those yummy and fun foods that you love. Like, otherwise it's just gonna make you want them more, and then you're just gonna go off the rails. So like including them in like small amounts. So you see how I got like these little packets of chips instead of buying one huge packet. The ice creams, instead of a tub of ice cream, I'm just gonna have like a single ice cream. So it's just like having these foods in moderation. And yeah, you don't need to get rid of your favorite foods to be able to sustain your fat loss, that is for sure.
Hello and welcome to the Beck and Tim Cooking Channel, where Tim cooks and Beck films.
So we're making some Nando's Fakeaway burgers. The recipe is now on my Instagram. This is the next tip, and I know lots of these tips are food tips, but when you're trying to get fat loss, it's all about the nutrition. So something that I really like to do is create meals that I actually like and I actually enjoy. What I do a lot of the times when I feel like getting takeaway, I just make it myself, and lots of the times it tastes better. It's good to know that you don't have to eat bland chicken and rice and broccoli when you're dieting. Isn't that right, Tim?
That's right, girl.
Yeah, right, Hazel. We can have the Nando's burgers.
She loves chicken and rice.
You love it.
Yeah, she does. We're gonna have our little Fakeaway burgers and enjoy our dinner. So let's do it.
Maths tonight.
That is our guilty pleasure, yeah. Alright, so we've had our dinner. I'm just about to get our ice creams, and I actually ended up getting a different one than the one that I showed you guys at the shop. One last tip for the night before I see you guys tomorrow. When you do decide to have, like, you know, something that's just for fun, just because it tastes good, I recommend doing it like as a treat, like on a full stomach. So like have your meal, like your protein and all of that stuff. And then this is just like the cherry on top, the additional treat. That way, if for instance, you're super hungry and you decide to have a treat, you're not gonna smash the whole box of ice creams because you've already just had like a really filling dinner. And that will help when you're in your fat loss journey. Keep these for treats. Oh my God, they're so nice and cold. Australia, Brisbane, Queensland is so hot. Do you want an ice cream, Tim?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, so I'm sorry if this video has been all over the place, but the last thing that I wanted to touch on is our mindset. I guess some people blame willpower on why they're not sticking to something, and that's like, it's quite harsh and it's a little bit shitty if you're like, oh, I just can't do it. I don't have the determination or dedication to do it. But sometimes that is actually not the case, because the main thing that you're always gonna fall back on when things get hard is the why. Why are you actually losing fat in the first place? And I can like 99% guarantee that if the only reason you are losing weight and losing fat is for a purely aesthetic reason, like you want abs, you want a big booty or something like that. And I'm not saying that that's bad to want those things. I mean, we all want those things to some extent, but if that is your only why as to why you want to lose fat and go on this journey, it's probably not going to get you there, just because it's not a big enough why. It's not aligning with you and your real wants and desires, if that makes sense. So I'll use myself as an example. So basically for me, unless I'm feeling really sick or I know my body needs a rest, I don't even really think about getting up and going to the gym. It's just like a habit that I've made for myself, but the way that I've made that habit is my purpose and my why, which is how it makes me feel. So it's what mindset it puts me in. If I don't go to the gym, I know that I'm not going to feel very good, like just with my mental health, and I find that I'm not going to be as productive, I'm not going to have as good a work day, and it kind of is just like a domino effect of not having a good day. If I am listening to that little devil voice inside my head being like, just sleep in, oh, you can skip the gym, I'm not really going to, just because I know how good it makes me feel. So I won't go too much into mindset. I think I'm gonna do another video on how to create these habits and my step-by-step process on how I create these healthy habits in my daily life. But anyway, I hope you liked my tips and tricks on a healthy, sustainable approach to fat loss that will not only help you to lose fat, but help you to keep it off long term. I'll link all the videos that I'm speaking about throughout this in the caption below, and I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!